Welcome, everyone.
Seriously,
Thank you for
about
coming
time.
tonight, and we have Pastor Nate Kingsley here to bring an invocation. Nate, thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Mary. Father, I just want to thank you for this town to live in. I'm grateful for it. Thank you for these who've taken up the role of doing this job for a few years. Give them grace to do it. You tell us to pray for those who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life. And we're thankful we have that here in our town. So give them wisdom tonight to make decisions and to do what is good for the city, and help them do justly and love mercy. And would you bless our town through that? We ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. I think we've got one more minute. Well, it's 7 o'clock by my watch, so I'll call our meeting to order and ask you please to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, would you take roll call, please?
Mayor Hammond.
Here.
Gary Lambert.
Here.
Mike Connell.
Here.
Bob Porter.
Here.
Mindy Galvey. Here. Kamal Ghazi.
Here.
Kristen Gable.
Here. Looking for approval of the agenda for our meeting tonight.
I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Now looking for approval of our council meeting minutes from April 16th.
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the readings, and approve the minutes from April 16th regular meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Larry. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Moving into pre-approved reports, the only pre-approved report I have is Cindy Garber has asked to bring something. Cindy? Commissioner Garber, maybe I should say that.
Thank you very much. Not a whole lot tonight, just a few updates on what we're doing at the county. I know I spoke to you before on our opioid funds. We've purchased a vehicle that we're using to transport those in treatment courts to and from necessary appointments for their recovery. That's going fantastic. We are looking now to expand that, which has been the plan all along, and we do have the funding to do that. So as we progress, we're gonna look into the family court, where we have youth that oftentimes are in need of transportation and unfortunately have some of those same treatment recovery type issues as adults do. Pleasant View is going fantastic. It is right on schedule, ahead of schedule. It's been a bit difficult for them to move things around, so we've got, temporary physical therapy here. We've got, as construction moves along, but everybody's worked together to, keep that flowing. I think one of our big challenges, as everywhere else, is going to be staffing. So I'll probably be out recruiting for that too. I did spend some time recently in the 911 center, and I do have our Deputy Director Kelsey Arbanis here tonight. I will tell you, if you've never been in the 911 dispatch center, those dispatchers, the complexity of what they do. They are dispatching, not only law enforcement, but EMS, fire, And they sit there with 6 screens going at one time, maps of the whole county, trying to, they're answering also the non-emergency line. So it's just one thing after another. They have a screen that pops up that can tell them how to deliver a baby or how to do CPR, and they will talk people through that. It's just amazing if you've never seen that work. But it's expensive, that kind of technology and that kind of, what we're asking them to do, that, there has to be compensation to go with what they are required to do. So with that, do you want Kelsey to talk in public comment, or?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll call her out. when-
Okay, that is all I have, unless you have something for me.
Anybody have any questions for?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shepherd, I see that you're here. I don't have you down, but are you prepared to do a report tonight?
Just brief.
We'll add you.
Well, I'll let you know that we've spent over $10 million a month, so it's brought a little over $40 million since the start of this year. We have an overall budget of about $80 million. I'm not sure just how the bills are going to get paid if we continue in this route of $10 million a year, a month. But anyway, we'll have to figure that out, I guess. She mentioned the 911. I didn't myself, but the majority of the board approved language to be put on the ballot for voting an additional 35 cents for each cell phone, which Dr. Boggs has figured out will generate about $250,000 a year to add to their already $2 million budget. I'm not exactly sure. I sat on the 911 board until I was censured and taken off. So I don't know the whole business characteristics of the 911 organization. Yes, they are needed, but do they need additional pay raises? You can go to govsalaries.com and individually look up each individual's salary within our government, not only locally, but all the way up to federal level. And you'll see that most of the dispatchers make around $55,000 to $65,000 a year now. Is that necessary? I don't know. It's all in their job qualifications and standards, I guess. All things that need to be evaluated.
You think that's too much money?
It's over the median value, median salary range of the county.
Who are you gonna get to work there for less than that?
Well, they do have minimum wages around the states.
So you want minimum wage people run your 911 center, and you think that's
No.
gonna go well?
I don't want that.
No. I don't want minimum wage people working in government, no. But there needs to be some kind of guidelines of how they're paying our employees and.
It doesn't
elected
seem
officials.
excessive.
It doesn't,
It's not a big salary in today's world. I
um,
mean, maybe 30 years ago.
yeah.
It's not a big salary. I know you don't like spending money, but sometimes money needs to get spent, and I don't think undercutting people who are doing that job is a good way to try to save money.
Then you're taxing people more.
When things get more expensive.
76% of a person's income goes towards the government to supplement taxes and generate the revenue that they need to operate.
Matthew, can you support that with a source? I've never heard that high of a number before. Where
Well,
did you get that
it's
figure
a
from?
accumulation
Yeah.
of all the different taxes.
Yeah,
It's not just income tax, which
you're
is
talking about sales tax and,
Yeah.
yeah.
every little tax and fee that's incurred on a taxpayer. It adds up. It was just 70% just a few years ago. Now it's up to 76
What's the cost of
and
living?
rising.
What's the cost of living?
Cost of living is terrible.
Right. So
How
it's
much
not, I
is
said this
gas?
to you once before, it's not a wage problem per se. I mean, a tax problem, it's a wage problem. No one makes enough money to keep up with how things are rising.
Yeah.
Gas, electric, natural gas, food.
The general population
It's-
isn't getting paid enough to pay all the incurred
No,
debt.
nobody across the board, and working class people aren't getting paid enough.
Right.
Not
If
just,
they-
not
if
just
they-
people, so $55 to $65, thousand a year is, it may be the medium in this county, but I would argue that that's poverty level. You can't pay rent. What's average rent today for a one-bedroom apartment? Probably $1,200, $1,500.
$1,500.
You can't afford to do that. What's the car payment? People don't buy cars because they can't afford a car payment that's $1,000 a month, so they lease them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, I'm not gonna argue that. But you can't afford, so you make do with what you have. That's why the personal debt limit is so high in this country.
Yeah.
Because we put it on charge, because we don't make enough money, period.
The unborn has a personal debt of $60,000 before they're even born.
Correct.
And it's because our government just keeps wasteful spending.
I never said there wasn't wasteful spending.
I don't think that's.
Take it out of wage.
And you're gonna lose me when you start talking about we should be paying our 911 dispatchers less than 50 to 60 a year.
We're
Lose me
talking
real
about
quick.
saving lives.
Yeah, I understand talking about saving lives, but it should be assessed to the general population. And
I
what,
think the
what
wages
causes
are,
people to leave this county is overtaxation, hyperinflation. And it's prevalent throughout the nation. But
But
We're- we-
75% that you just mentioned, this is not just Shiawassee.
Right,
This is
it's-
all
it's-
over Michigan.
right.
So you're saying now they are leaving the county, where are they going? Traveling to a different state?
Trying to find someplace more affordable.
But they're gonna be leaving
Maybe.
Michigan, because
The-
based on what you're saying, 75% of whatever anyone's doing in Michigan is, here's the thing. I think it sucks when you have people who are not able to afford just going to put gas at the pump.
Yeah.
And we are talking about what, 30 cents, 40 cents?
35 cents.
35 cents.
Yeah.
And if you were to compare here to Ann Arbor, or to Troy, or to Birmingham, there is a huge difference, there is a huge gap. I understand where you're coming from about taxation, but still there has to be some sort of happy median, where we're not really, we're being mindful to have a look at like the big picture. I think 40 cents even, not 35, I don't know if it's gonna break the bank.
It just makes it a little more difficult for somebody to go out and get a grocery cart full of food for their family.
35
Yeah,
cents.
$1,200 for an apartment. Why do you suppose that is? It's because of the high taxation in the state overall.
In the state, so you're
And-
talking about state level,
Yeah.
right?
I
It's
mean,
not
the SEB
Shiawassee specifically.
The SEB for just Shiawassee goes up $3 million a year. The general budget has gone up over $1 million a year. Now, that's just a general operating budget of 23 million that we have currently, and change.
We don't even, Shiawassee doesn't offer all the services that other counties do. Now, those counties are larger, have more income,
Right.
grant that, but we don't have we have one animal control officer, for example.
Right.
We barely have an animal, shelter open. So, if you wanna look at comparisons to other counties, or say what the median, the wages or what we tax on, it's all across the board. Again, it's not, I don't see how you can begrudge somebody making $65,000 a year. And they get benefits, but it's still below what a living wage would be.
And again, we're talking about family sizes, right? If you have one person who is doing 65, who is 20, sure, maybe they might be able to. But if you have a family of 4 or 5, which is the average, and you're telling me that they are gonna be doing $65,000 a year and they are expected to live with that $65,000 a year. And the reason I'm a little fired up about this is that is social work, what you're talking about. That is not enough. 70,000, based on today's gas prices and today's market, is
Yeah.
not enough.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
In the
absolutely.
private sector, somebody that's making $65,000 a year is doing a whole lot more. If somebody that's making
So they're not doing
$80,000
much
a
in
year.
the dispatch center?
Huh?
They're not busy in the dispatch center?
I'm not just picking on the dispatch center. I'm saying this whole county has had some serious increases in salaries.
Maybe it's been long overdue.
And
Wages were
long
suppressed for
time
30
ago.
plus years. if not more.
50%?
Absolutely,
50%
Absolutely.
increase.
absolutely. I'm in the private sector, I'm a manager on a company. So our wages in the last 5 years for our foremen have increased by at least $10 an hour. Now, to get qualified people, I have to pay that. The company has to pay. It's not my company, but I won't manage the parks, right? So, do I hold out and not get qualified people or train people to do it for lesser and then put out an inferior quality and then the company goes out of business? Or do I get with the times and pay them more money to have a quality personnel that comes in? The cities and municipalities don't pay very well. Everyone, the draw for them to work here is the benefits, the retirement, the health insurance.
Yeah.
Health insurance, I personally pay over $16,000 a year for health insurance. The company pays some. But I went to the dermatologist the other day, I got a bill for $300. Why is that? So everything is connected,
Yeah.
Matt, right? Everything's connected. So it's hard to pinpoint, and I know you're not picking on 911, but that's just what you started with, right?
Yeah, I'm just using it as an example
Right.
of how the government operates. And I don't know all the ins and outs of government, but I know that the Constitution says we have the right to know where that money's being spent and how it's being spent.
Is anyone hiding it?
I'm not hiding it.
I said, is anyone?
No,
I didn't ask
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I didn't imply that you were.
I've asked for explanations of increases a few times, and no,
But you know what that money's going towards.
you're forced to do a FOIA, and then you get a $5,000 to $20,000 bill?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring this to a
Yeah.
close. Even our reports don't typically go this long, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate the
Excuse me,
interaction.
I just
with
have one
everyone.
question for him. Have you ever answered the phone with someone with a gun in their head telling them they are gonna kill themselves?
I have not personally, no.
Well, they need to be compensated for the things that goes on. And if you don't have experience, I don't know if you can quantify something like that. I don't know if you can quantify a gun going off.
I
Based
can't
on
quantify
someone.
that in a civilian sector, but I have been in war a couple times.
And I'm
And
glad,
we
and I'm
have to
thankful
deal
for
with it
that.
on the radio.
And I am thankful for that, but right now, you're asking someone who's not in war to be doing something for a lot cheaper than other places.
Yeah.
And a high-stress job, but, I'm sorry.
Is that it? Okay. Thank you, Matthew,
Yeah.
for being here. And I will remind, just if you'd give Shirley a call, well, make sure you're on the agenda in the future for a report. We'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Moving into public comment, we'll welcome Kelsey Arbanis, the Deputy Director in Shiawassee County for the 911 dispatch.
Thank you. Can I give these to you? guys real
Absolutely.
quick? This is just kind of a breakdown of the surcharge increase, why it's needed, et cetera.
Thank you.
Go over a little bit here.
Thank you.
Yep. For you.
Thank you.
So as you said, I'm Kelsey Arbanis. I'm the Deputy Director at Shiawassee 911. I've been there 13 years. I've seen, especially now in my role, that we have technology that's constantly needing to be updated. We've not had a surcharge increase since 2016, so in 10 years, but our expenses have increased by 182%. So we're paying 182% more based off of the same amount that we've been getting for the last 10 years. We're starting to see federal mandates for radios that have to be done, that with our current budget we're not gonna be able to do it. Our CAD system, which is the computer system we use for all the calls, dispatching, that's severely outdated. We are struggling to use it day to day, but we just don't have the extra funds to replace it right now. So our hope is that with this surcharge increase, again, it's 35 cents a month, which is $4.20 a year per phone line. And we're hoping that that'll bring in estimated $256,000 of additional funding to help us save up to do these projects. It's not obviously gonna be something that this money is gonna be right away we can do our projects. It's something that's gonna have to be saved for to be able to do them in the future. On the back, we talked about most of our comparable counties, so counties with the same population or close to, and our neighboring counties bring in a lot more revenue than what we bring in. Most, if not all, are at $3 already, and some even have an additional millage on top of that. Those who are lower than $3 do have a millage, and some have a millage and a surcharge. So we're kind of behind with where everybody else is at. So again, this is just, we need it to maintain operations, address our aging infrastructure, and support the future system improvements. You know, we hope that all of you guys will help support that, and we wanted to give you guys this, so if you have people asking you questions, it kind of gives some information for you.
I can make copies of these. I'll just
I
make
was
copies.
gonna say, you kind of, I have some more here
Oh,
too, so,
yeah.
I guess you guys.
Feel free to leave some with Shirley, and then
Yeah.
if people do ask questions, we have something.
Yeah, absolutely, I'll give some to you, and then I don't know if you guys have any questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Kelsey?
There you go, yes.
How many 911 operators do you have on average?
So right now we have 10 full-time employees and then me and the director. At a time, there's 2 or 3 on. Usually it's only 2, so, you know, you get like an accident on 69 and you've got 50 people calling, you've got 2 people trying to answer the phones, dispatch, police, fire, and EMS, and everything. So usually there's only 2 working at a time. Our hope is to get up to 12. We're in the process of hiring more right now, going through applications, so, and then we would have 3 on at a time all the time.
And that's 24-hour coverage.
Yep, 24 hours, 7 days a week, all the time.
Not to put you too much on the spot, but over the last 5-10 years, how much has your call volume gone up?
The call volume on days has increased. The call volume on nights has actually gone down.
Yep.
But I don't even know what to put a number to it, but during the day, it's a lot busier now. There's times where they don't have much downtime at all during their shift. And when they do, you've got officers that are doing traffic stops and stuff. So really, they have, they're constantly doing something.
Yeah, and that was kind of my point, like, I know you guys have gotten busier.
Yeah, we only
I'm
get
surprised
busier.
to hear you say it's gone down at night, because it seems like across the board, everything's gone up for everybody.
Yeah, so, not all nights, but we have seen it over the last, I would say 2 years especially. We've seen it get a little bit less busy at night, but it seems like those are just rolling over into day shift now, so. And of course, it depends, because some nights it's nonstop, but most of the time it's not.
Good job getting it done with only 2.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions for Kelsey? Kelsey, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Is there anyone else here tonight for public comment? If not, we'll move into communications. Shirley?
The only one that I have is we received a letter from the Girl Scout Troop 30433. I'll just read the letter really quick. Dear Perry City Council, we are Girl Scout Troop 30443, and we are in grades 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. May we plant trees at City Hall around the new playground? Question mark. There's not a lot of shade. We think it is preventing people from enjoying the new playground equipment. We will pay for the trees and we will take care of planting and caring for them. Do you think that planting trees would be a good idea? If so, let us know. Thank you. So I did get this last month, the end of the month, and I'm actually gonna pass this along to Megan and John, because they have a plan for that area, and if they expand or whatever they decide they wanna do over there, so, I'm just letting you know if they're interested, and, that's what I'm gonna do with it, if that's okay with you guys.
I think that's a great plan. Parks Administrator and the DPW Superintendent.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you so much. Moving on then to our reports from department heads. John, you can go first.
I don't have a lot tonight. We're on schedule, brush chipping is on Tuesdays. Yard waste, we're done the bulk pickup stuff, the loose, so if you put it out, we're gonna ask that you bag it. And that's on bags, pickup, yard waste on Wednesday, so Tuesday and Wednesdays. Unless something goes on, we have a downpour and we can't get it, but we've been doing regular work. We had another lagoon runoff that we did in April, and I just finished flushing hydrants around noon today, all the time. So far that went well, as far as I can tell. My next thing, I probably should have put it on the agenda, but I don't know. So anyway, a business owner come to me, wanted to pave a portion of an unfinished alley, and was kind of looking for a little contribution from the city. So half the alley is paved, and the reason that they're gonna redo their entire parking lot and come out partly into the alley and do a little bit of more work. I don't have any objection to it, and so I guess I told them before I can green light anything, and I said that we looked at the budget and we can come up with some money. So the amount was gonna be, the dimensions are gonna be 10 foot wide by 210 foot long at 3.5 inches thick. So the total bill was $92.66. I figured we could come up with $2,000 to go towards it, to finish it. The problem that they're having is the alley is washing down in front of their garage where they unload caskets. It's Watkins Brothers. So.
I live there, so that'll be my backyard getting paved.
So I told him that this is what I felt we could do, but I had to speak with council and time. I don't know if there was time to amend the budget or not, but by the time everything got to me, so you guys have the opportunity to tell me your opinion. I don't see, there's no water main through there, there's a sewer. I'd have to raise it a little bit, and I already got the parts to do it because I anticipated that there wouldn't be too many issues with it.
Just the manhole covered.
The manhole, will raise it to meet grade. And I think there's 3 connections on it, so.
Council, do you have any questions for John or discussion you'd like to hold on that? If I understand correctly, though, you do have that money in your budget, it's within your spending allowance.
It's gonna be in general fund,
Yeah.
won't be out of street money.
Okay.
How much is the entire project costing?
They're gonna redo their entire parking lot, so you want
Just outside of their parking lot?
you just want the alley
This is-
portion?
Yeah.
So the total cost to pave the alley would be $9,266. It's about, if we come up with 2,000, it'd be about 21, maybe 21.5%, something like that.
And are we talking about the entire alley
From
between the
the-
2 streets? Or
It'll be the
turn.
stop sign, there'll be a little dirt section right out at the mouth still,
At which road?
on Orchard.
Okay. All right.
But it would keep the
It's gonna keep the
Soil
material
from
up in the,
washing.
and then I won't be plowing gravel up in people's yards all winter. I thought it was a fair
They'll do all the prep, all they want is us to contribute into the asphalt part of it.
Yep. Yep, that's what he told me they were gonna do, cut it in so that it matches where their property line basically is where the asphalt ends currently. So they'll meet that.
So what about the driveways? I mean, it is actually my driveway, so what about the driveways of the people who live there? Is there gonna be, how is that gonna be addressed? Because I don't.
Well, we're gonna
have
add, so 3.5 inches.
Yeah,
So yours is kinda higher than that right now, so,
it used to be, but I removed all that broken
Right.
concrete, so now.
so
I
they'll
know
pour
where-
like, as they come through, they'll put a little apron out, or we'll put millings or limestone in on the backside.
All right, so I won't have like a big drop off or
No, we'll make sure that,
my car won't be bottoming out when I pull in
Yeah.
out of my driveway. All right.
I see it as your budget, and I think you do a good job with it, and I don't wanna stand in the way. Do you see any issues, Megan? Then I don't see a reason to say no.
okay,
Other
Go
comments?
for it.
Go for it.
I'm for it.
okay. I apologize for not making it a formal,
You're forgiven, John.
thank you. Okay. I think that's all I have, unless someone has something for me.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Megan?
Hello. Just a couple quick things. As far as events go, we did have our seed and seedling swap 2 weekends ago. The park committee did. It turned out great. I would say 20, 25 people came and went the 3 hours. A handful of people brought live plants, a handful of people brought seeds. Like, there was tons of variety. All the feedback was great. Asking if we're gonna do it again, asking if we're doing another one this year still, which next year. But it was really cool, and they all, like-minded people, had a good time. A lot of people stayed the entire 3 hours and just chit-chatted and networked. Special thanks to the Shiawassee Conservation District came out. They brought leftovers from their plant sale that they do every year, so they had free seedlings, free of trees. They had wildflower seeds and a lot of material just about planting and making the best of what you have. Also, thanks to Kodak's Hardware Uptown, when they found out we were doing it, they donated some garden tools and a couple little greenhouses that we gave away as donation or raffle prizes to, like door prizes essentially. So it was a really cool event, and I was happy it turned out the way it did. Kyle and I attended the Perry Public Schools Community Showcase last Tuesday. 2 Tuesdays ago, and it's just an opportunity for the schools to open their doors, open house style. A lot of the clubs and classes had displays. You could tour the FFA barn, you could see kids using the pottery wheel in the art room, and they also filled the gym with local businesses and community groups. So we each had a table. Kyle from the police department and myself, mostly my stuff was yard sales, cleanup, like the community events we have going up. This is the second year they've done it, and it was, I think, a really good turnout for them and a good networking opportunity for Kyle and I. Summer Fun Night is the 3rd Tuesday in July. I believe it's the 15th. I did send out solicitations to all local businesses, all the businesses that attended before. I'm going to work on printing flyers to take them to actual door fronts to get flyers in windows. I've had a lot of feedback already. I have at least one confirmed food truck, working on a second one. So things are going well there. I did receive today our delinquent property taxes from the county. So we turn our tax roll over to the county March 1st. Anything we don't collect now becomes their responsibility to collect, and they pay us for what we have not yet received yet that they'll continue to work on. I believe the total check was around $60,000, but I do have to disperse some of that out. The library, the fire department, schools get their own disbursement. I don't disperse there. And then the pilot program, which is the payment in lieu of taxes for the apartment, the lower income apartment complex on the south side of town. I just received their audit. They tell us based on their revenue for the year what their payment to us will be. And I believe that was around $40,000, but again, I would say at least 75% of that gets dispersed out. I expect we'll get around 8,500 of that, roughly 40. And for now, that is all I have for you.
Any questions for Megan?
Thank you.
2 minutes.
Shirley?
A couple things, just, I'm reminding everyone of the yard sales this weekend, the 15th through the 17th. After that, cleanup week will be May 18th through the 22nd. Flyers will be in the back upstairs. Just trying to go through this really quick. Zoning permits that were issued the first quarter of the year were 14. And then building permits, which include electrical, plumbing, and mechanical, were 36 permits. I did receive a visit from our loss control consultant from MML on this week. And, or last week maybe, I don't remember the date. But we are, so our loss control ratio is very high, but that's because of the tornado. So that will eventually fall off. Our workers' comp is, our experience med is good, but after I told him that we've had a 6-month workers' comp claim, he took back the paper he gave me and said to keep it. So, and then I received an email saying that it had gone up. So, and I was expecting that. So we'll probably have some sort of increase to workers' comp. I just did all the estimated payrolls for 26, 27. So we'll see what that comes back at, but we had just a few things that we needed to address, and I addressed them, and let everybody know that was involved, like a car was parked in front of the electrical box here, which it can't be, everything has to be 36 inches away, so just little, nothing major, so got all that stuff fixed, and we're all good.
Questions for Shirley? Thank you, Shirley, good job. Kyle?
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start out and say that as the chair of the 911 board, that if you ever have any questions or you want to have more knowledge or gain more knowledge or understanding, feel free to come to a meeting. We're a pretty friendly group, and we'd be happy to answer any of those questions. But I think if you were assigned to that as a committee, you might show up more than once and get some understanding, so you know what's going on and where the money's going. But anyway, feel free to join us if you ever want to. That being said, wanted to let you know that the speed trailer is out. I have it at Clearwater and Ralph right now. It is operational. I'm having some connection difficulties with it, so I haven't been able to download any of the data from it yet. So I'll get some numbers, amount of vehicles going by, get some speeds. Right now the average speed is 18, just so we all know. But I should be able to get a printout here in the next couple of weeks once I'm able to fully connect to the sign and download that information. I did receive an email probably 3 weeks ago from Warren PD, went statewide. They were selling hundreds of Taser 7s, which is the Taser that we carry. They're used, they're upgrading, but they were selling these used ones at a significantly discounted price. Brand new Taser 7 is about $1,800. I was able to purchase 2 additional Tasers for Perry PD with 2 holsters and 40 cartridges, which are about $40 a piece, all for the grand total of $1,440. So it's a huge savings. And this allows us to have more than one Taser out and about. We've taken up a lot of the Office of Highway Safety Planning overtime grants for speed and some other traffic enforcement. So we have 2 officers out, and we've only had 1 Taser out. And so now each officer who goes out will have a Taser with them. So that was a really good find. I was really grateful to be able to go down there and bring those back for such a low cost. Due to the gas prices, I did talk with the officers about vehicles idling, and we do let them idle, especially during the winter, so that we don't have to defrost a vehicle or chip ice off windshields or anything like that. But we have a lot of equipment that needs to be running all the time in there, and that's why we keep it running. We don't want to run down a battery and not be able to have a car start. But that being said, we've addressed that, I've addressed that, and we can remove some of that equipment if need be and take them inside and put them in or whatever. Everybody's in full agreement to do that, so we should see a little bit of a reduction in our monthly costs, hopefully.
Thank you.
I was grateful for the Mid-Michigan Chiefs Association, which I'm a part of. I received a $1,000 grant from them to attend the summer conference to cover costs. It's up at Shaney Creek every year for the summer conference, and they put out there anyone who would like it. I put my name out there, and I received that grant. So grateful to them for that. That will help offset quite a bit of costs there. And finally, for months now, I think you folks approved back in November the upgrade for our tornado sirens to be activated here in City Hall as a central location. And I would say that we are 98% up and running right now. It's going to be put on me to administer the users for that, but once we get users added to a mobile app, they'll be able to activate that wherever they're at, and it'll all be based out of the control hub that's right up here at the police secretary desk. It's been a long time coming. It was a long project once they started. We were somewhat the guinea pigs for this new upgrade that they did. So even West Shore was like, I've never done this before, so we gotta wait for them to help me walk through it. So a lot of moving parts, but I would say right now that we are almost there. We have a lot more options for activation now. We can activate it here. We can still activate it with the traditional walkie-talkie that the fire department had, but we are currently hooked up so that the National Weather Service Polygon, if you ever see that on Channel 6 or Channel 12, when you see a storm in the direction, if we're within, I believe, 5 to 10 miles of that polygon, it will automatically activate. So it takes no interface on our part to actually activate that. Which is really great, I think. If they can predict the path, then why not have it just activate? So they're seeing stuff with their technology much better than what our spotters can out in fire trucks. And no offense to them, they do a great job, but this will expand the opportunity for that to be activated in a timely manner. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to be, I think we're the first in the county to have this up and going, so it's a really big deal. So I thank you folks for putting that all together and allowing us to, especially here on the western side of the county where the storms usually come from, I think it's going to be helpful for the rest of everyone else in Shiawassee County. So that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Could you take one of these and pass it down? Sure. Yeah, thank you. The only thing I have to report is that we got letters from 8th graders. And one of them was concerning parks, so I handed that one off to our parks administrator, Megan. She answered that letter. The other two were about 2 other issues, and so I answered those. And I just wanted you to have the opportunity to read those letters. They're really representative, I think, of a lot of adults' concerns or issues they'd like to see happen in Perry. So I just wanted to share those with you. That takes us down to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports tonight?
Personnel.
Personnel committee, yes.
Personnel committee met last week to discuss the feasibility of a city administrator position. We discussed that for a while, and it seems like it is a good idea, but probably just not at this time. If we can get some more funding in the future, then that's something we could look into. And I think we're gonna vote on it later, but our recommendation was no.
Thank you. Any other committee reports tonight? Okay. Moving on then to presentation and approval of the bills.
I move that we approve the bills as presented and that payment be authorized.
Second.
We have a motion for Mike, seconded by Larry. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. We don't have any old business on our agenda, but moving into new business, we will now move into our public hearing concerning our budget and millage rate. Megan, our treasurer, will lead us through that. Public hearing, does anyone have any questions, comments? Seeing none.
Okay, so council met late March, did a workshop. We were here 2-3 hours working through recommendations from all the departments and the mayor. There has been a draft available on the city website or here in City Hall since the first full week in April. If anyone has any questions about what is in the budget, it's been available. It will continue to be available. I do have my cheat sheet with all my notes that are line by line with some details. If any of you tonight have questions that you want specifics on. The one thing I will point out to council is when I import, what happens is I do a spreadsheet annually for us to draft our budget. When we go through it, I then put it into our software, BSNA. When I did that, I found that my formula, I had an error in the formula. It changed the general fund total expenses by $3,000. So we had looked at the expense. It was just that very bottom line had a slightly different number when I put it into our computer software. That's kind of like my safety net. So the budget you have in front of you, which is the City of Perry proposed 26-27 budget as of 4/9/26, is the correct and accurate budget for approval tonight. Our current millage rate as of 2025 was 12.2974 mills. I do not yet have the L428 that comes from the state and it trickles down to usually me. I usually get it from our assessor. That has not come through yet, and that is what tells us what our Headley rollback will be for the year. Last year it was 0.97, the year before I believe it was 0.98. So the proposal you have again for the second time in a row in front of you this year is a millage rate not to exceed our current rate, because we know it will roll back. I just don't have the very fine-tuned what percentage is it rolling back. Other highlights in the budget in front of you for specifically the general fund is we are not accepting any grants in the 26-27 year. As far as long-term debt goes, the building, the bond on the building we are in here today started in 1997. And that was what renovated the building to the state it's in now, will be paid off in 2027. So our final payment plus interest is roughly $55,000. So that is the last time you'll see that in the budget, is the one we're approving tonight. We do have a handful of capital improvements that the department heads have asked for. These are one-time requests, and these are for major improvements. We're talking heating and cooling here on the building on 2 floors, heating and cooling over at the library, potential new election equipment for the clerk if the state says that they're changing vendors. So a lot of this stuff are necessities, or like replace before failure planning, all based on capital improvement planning and asset management planning. Any specific questions on the budget that you would like me to address?
Do we have any questions from the public? Anyone who wants to make comment during this public hearing time? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing now at 7:48.
Megan, that was 2.74 you said, Mills? Did I hear you right?
12.2974.
12. I heard that really wrong. Thank you.
The next item under new business is our city millage rate, and we're looking for possible approval of that. Again, Megan explained that it's going to be a not-to-exceed amount of 12.2974.
I move that we set the City of Perry tax millage at a rate not to exceed 12.2974 mils.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. And now we'll move into the actual budget possible approval. Any further discussion from council? Any questions for Megan from council?
I move that we accept and adopt the following resolution. Whereas a public hearing was held and all comments were heard regarding the proposed 2026-2027 budget of all city funds with general ledger by activity number form and all other funds by revenue and expense totals. And whereas the revenue and expense totals are itemized as follows. General fund revenue, $1,711,565. General fund expenses, $1,905,772. Highway major revenue, $291,700. Highway major expenses, $163,223. Highway local revenue, $131,300. Highway local expenses, $163,173. Parks revenue, $8,250. Parks expenses, $17,000. Drug fund revenue, $75. Drug fund expenses, $0. McQueen revenue, $200. McQueen expenses, $0. Sewer fund revenue, $619,900. Sewer fund expenses, $718,860. Water fund revenue, $511,675. Water fund expenses, $491,374. City Hall fund revenue, $5,550. City Hall fund expenses, $5,500. Motor pool fund revenue, $200,300. Motor pool fund expenses, $307,330. Office pool revenue, $43,400. Office pool expenses, $45,000. Therefore, said budget be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, council, and thank you, Megan, for all of the extra work that takes. I know she works so well with the other department heads, and the other department heads work so hard on getting their budgets put in a position where then they can sit with Megan and
I don't do anything.
Better than that.
so I'd really like us all, maybe this isn't appropriate, but I'd like us to give our department heads and our treasurer a round of applause. Next on our agenda is the Jubilee Park roof materials quote. Who wants to talk about that? John?
So this is, DPW is planning on doing the labor. This is out here at the Lifetime Metal Sales, is where I got the quote from. The old shingle roof is starting to come apart, so it's, the metal's gonna look just like this top of the police garage here. And then, so the quote in front of you is for materials to complete it. I don't know the exact date when we'll have it done, but we've done this roof, we did the police roof, we did the lagoon building, we did the Jubilee Park bathrooms years ago. We've done all the going over, so it's, and there's no valleys or anything, it's just all straight. So it's not too hard for us, so the labor will just be when we get it done.
Are you stripping the old shingles or going over top?
There's only one layer, so we're gonna put
Oh,
a
okay.
felt down, synthetic felt, like we've done it on every, and we've had
Makes sense.
good results so far, so.
So that's probably a big savings, not having that done by someone that does roofing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be
A lot more.
Add at least
probably
one
in the
more
teens.
zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you, people.
So I'm gonna get the materials before the end of the budget, because we planned on it, so there's an amount in, I think it's in the parks for that, to do it, so, yes.
Any questions for John?
I move that we approve the purchase of materials to replace the roof on Jubilee Park Pavilion from Lifetime Metal Sales in the amount not to exceed $2,290.28.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a resolution in front of us regarding the CESA increase and possible approval of that increase. Shirley, do you have anything to tell us on this?
Just that we received the letter from CESA that I included with that resolution, so that's just it.
Any discussion regarding that information or that material that you received? Questions?
I move that we approve the following resolution. Resolved that whereas on March 4th, 2021, the City of Perry created the Ambulance Services Special Assessment District, and the district has subsequently been renewed, and whereas the city is required to make a redetermination of cost for the district yearly at the first city council meeting in May, and whereas the city reserved the right to increase the assessment at the time of the annual redetermination in an amount not to exceed 10% of the costs established for the prior year. Therefore, the City of Perry does determine to establish the annual ambulance services special assessment at $140 per unit. The city assessor is directed to spread the said assessment upon the city July 2020 tax roll.
Second.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next on our agenda is the response to the Personnel Committee's recommendation regarding the city administrator position, or creation of that. Open the floor for discussion.
Couple of comments, and obviously I was on the Personnel Committee, and my comments are with no disrespect to the Personnel Committee's recommendation, nor to any of the staff heads that, and the staff that are involved in the discussion around the potential city administrator. Unfortunately, my position is, and has been since I served on the work group that we talked about previously, is there will never be a good time to move forward with the idea of a city administrator. I know there's funding issues. It may not be a perfect fit by any means, but I was hopeful that we'd be able to, as a council, move forward with a trial basis at least, to see if we could find someone that would fit the role and maybe help us take a step forward in the future with the master plan things that we've talked about before. But once again, no disrespect to the staff by any means or a personnel recommendation.
Appreciate it.
None taken at all. It's the beauty of democracy. Any other questions before I move that based on the recommendation of the Personnel Committee, the city administrator position will not be created at this time.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Shirley, would you take roll call, please?
Well, I got this out for the budget, but.
I fooled you this
But we'll
year.
use it
Third time a charm.
Mike Connell.
Yes, or, yes.
Yes, yeah, okay, yeah, you're voting not to create it. Larry Lambert,
No.
Bob Porter,
Yes.
Kamal Ghazi,
Yes.
Mindy Guppy,
Yes.
Kristen Babo.
Yes.
We have 5 yeses and 1 no. Motion passes. Do we have any other business to come before council at this time? Any council discussion or observations regarding anything? Shirley reminded me that I did not talk about the status of our funding applications, but because we were kind of pressed for time and I wanted to get to the public hearing, I chose to pass on that, and I will bring more information about that to our next meeting. So for the agenda item, next time we'll status the funding applications for the streetlights and for the water main restoration. I will just let you know that Consumers Energy reports that they hope to have the 1 new light pole at Britton and Lansing Road up by the middle of this month, which is next week, so we'll see if that happens. We did get email from them and giving us instructions on what we may or may not need to do during that time. Any further public comment? Cindy?
Just say one. I just wanted to thank you, the council, for your support of Kelsey and our dispatchers. They do work really hard. The technology is overwhelming, and it's 24/7. I think one of you mentioned that. And that's your kid's birthday, that's Christmas, that's weekends, that's all the time. So thank you very much for your support of them.
I have a public comment, if I can.
You may.
It's actually for Cindy, a question. The bill list that you provided us a few meetings ago,
Yes.
are you guys, because I didn't notice, do you guys approve your payroll on there?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially, when Commissioner Shepherd is not approving your bill list at like every meeting, he's not approving to pay himself. So does he receive pay?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And we still pay everybody else on the consumer's
No,
bill.
I know.
I did notice when Megan was giving her report, as she stated, money comes in and then it's dispersed. That's the same thing. Unfortunately, Commissioner Shepherd doesn't understand the idea of the disbursement part, the pass-through. So, for instance, your PILT that you collect and you put it out, it's the same thing at the county. Those numbers he's giving you include some of those pass-through disbursements, and we list those on the bills in an effort to be more forthcoming, so.
And we also started doing that on our bill list too. Not, what, 2 years ago maybe?
Yeah, the taxes.
Yep.
Yeah, bill, yes.
Yep.
Yep, and that's what we do also. Again, you could do it either way, but it is, in our opinion, just a little more transparent, so.
When Commissioner Shepherd repeatedly indicates that he doesn't get a copy of the bills unless he FOIAs it, he said it again here tonight, that's only because he chooses not to be a part of the system where that bill list is available to all the commissioners.
Well,
Correct?
he gets it in an email.
He gets it in an email.
With all of us. He uses his commissioner email to send out things. I can't say for sure that he reads his commissioner email, but I know that he uses it. And our IT department knows that he uses it, so I'm not sure how he can say that.
Okay.
You know, today, it's Thursday, so I got the invoice edit report, and I've given you a copy of what that looks like. That's available to,
So it's available to him and it's
Yes.
on the email that he has provided, basically.
Yes.
From the county.
and that he has used, and I don't know, it may just be a misunderstanding on his part.
Perhaps.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Any agenda items you would like to tell Shirley about for our next meeting?
Put a placeholder, if you will, for potentially a couple of ordinance committee recommendations as it regards some potential changes to our marijuana ordinance.
I have a couple of things also already on the agenda, so we'll maybe be securing an engineer of record, the tower offer. I'm gonna speak with Mr. English tomorrow, and possible Schindler elevator contract renewal.
Okay. Anything else?
I'd like to mention how much I appreciate the committee for the administrator. They did great work, and I appreciate the information that they ended up getting for us. And I think it will be very useful in the future, because I think this will again be addressed later on down the road. And we know more now than we did before the committee was formed, so appreciate their work.
Anything else? Anybody? Okay, at 8:06 then our meeting is adjourned.